Hey guys, I have an announcement to make. Kind of vulnerable moment today. But in my coaching business, in my world that I'm in now, that I love and I feel free and a part of, I teach my beautiful clients to be themselves. I teach my beautiful clients to be authentic and to be real and to be their beautiful person and to do it fearlessly, to live their lives fearlessly. And in order for me to be this leader and this mentor, I need to practice what I preach. I need to get myself out there and I need to talk about some things and clear the air on some things in my life. So that's what this video is about. I am no longer part of the LDS Church. I have left the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints for many reasons. Some of those reasons is because, I was sexually abused a lot in my life by a few different people. And I turned to my parents and to the bishop and to the church for help, and I didn't receive any care or anything that a child needs in that moment. In fact, I was faced with questioning and with guilt trips and with comments like, if you tell people, you'll be ruining their life. Basically, I was told that, well, sorry, that sucks. Actually, I didn't even get a sorry. It was literally like, well, don't tell anyone. And that was it. I believed that it was all my fault. I believed that being a young child and being molested was because I was too pretty or too flirtatious or I was too bubbly of a personality. And it really messed me up. It made me believe that so much was wrong with me and that God hated me. It's funny because I remember little things in church like going to girls' camp and feeling like I never had a choice, feeling like so pressured into things. I had a lot of fun at girls' camp, but there were some things there that to this day, I will never put my girls through that. I will never want them to have the experience of girls' camp, namely forced hiking. They don't give you a choice. It's you are going on this 10-mile hike in shoes that aren't hiking shoes, and who cares if you get blisters? You're not riding the car back. You are going on this hike. You don't have a choice. Other things like I force you to, like, literally they don't say I force you, obviously, but it was so much peer pressure and so much like, this is what we're doing. You have no choice. This is how we're doing things. You have to make up this really ridiculous song with a group of girls. Like, I understand having activities, but at the same time, don't force kids to do stuff. You know what that teaches them? It teaches them to suppress who they are. It teaches them that they don't have a voice or a choice or control in their life. And to people that are being sexually abused and absolutely have no control in their lives already, it is not healthy. I never got a choice. I never got a choice whether or not to go to church every Sunday. And when I would go, I would be shamed. I would be given lessons like chewed up gum and things like morality and you're not worthy if things are happening to you. And when you're like a 12-year-old girl who's being touched on a very regular basis by a grown man, can you even imagine what that does to your worth? And then being put in situations where again and again and again, you don't get a choice. You are forced by your parents to go to these church functions. And then at these church functions, you are forced by your leaders to do things that you don't want to do. And when you are a child that already has no control, and you go to things like that looking for a place of peace and solace, and you're just forced into doing things with blisters on your feet, with nobody to give a damn about you. It hurts you further. It breaks your soul. I told many bishops about my abuse. I told many people about my abuse, and I never got any help. And in fact, they protected my abusers. In fact, after I had gone through the temple and stayed in this religion, even though I wasn't happy and I didn't feel safe, I stayed because that was the only thing I knew. It was the only choice I was ever given. And after I went to the temple with my husband, I got contacted by a stake president that was the man who raped me, his stake president. And this was years later, by the way. And basically, he was like, I know you know who this person is. I know that you know them. He was basically talking to me like he was about to put me on probation or disfellowship or whatever because of what the choice of a man almost twice my age did to me as a freaking teenager. And then he had the gall to ask me for a letter to reinstate this man. And I had never gotten an apology. I have never, in fact, when I contacted his family because it was a forced situation, again, I had no control. Again, I was forced into a situation where his family found out, and now I'm sitting here talking to his wife without my consent because I wasn't ready for that. Again. And sitting there talking to his wife, he denied it. He made it sound all consensual, and actually, he denied it flat out on that call. He said nothing happened. But then later, he came out and was like, oh, it was all consensual. Yeah, is it really consensual when a girl is shaking and crying? Is it really consensual when she's walking away from you at lunch to get away from you? At work? When she's leaving the building to go somewhere else to eat her lunch to get away from you and you follow her into an abandoned building and pop out from behind her out of nowhere and yank her pants down? Is that consent? Where were you? Where was the question of, hey, do you want to do this? What happened when I told you I was terrified when you touched me for the first time? Was that consent too? I'm sorry. What is the definition of consent nowadays? No, it wasn't consent and I was raped. You raped me. And then the church wanted me to just give this man a letter to reinstate him to be in good standing in the church and in his community without so much as a slap on the wrist, without so much as an apology. Who gives a crap about Sadie? And I felt pressured and pushed to write this letter for this man who ruined me, who took so much from me that he will never understand. Fast forward that. My past finally hits me. I'm now a mom to 4 beautiful children. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it hits me. How much God must hate me. All those things, all those experiences, my experience in the LDS church taught me that I was worthless. That my wants and needs didn't matter. That I didn't matter. And if you're doing the checklist, you're supposed to be happy. Well, guess what? I wasn't freaking happy. And I went to you for help, and I was betrayed. I was let down, and I was failed. So fast forward. The reality of things hit me. And now I'm sitting on my bathroom floor with a gun pressed to my head. So determined to end my life. That doesn't mean anything anyways. Begging God that if he cared, please just give me a sign. Please, any sign, a feeling, a freaking bug on the wall. I don't care. I just need something to feel something for the first time in years. Please, I just want to be happy. Please, I just want to feel loved. I can't do this anymore. And nothing came. And nothing came. And then I was so depressed. I would write suicide letters and leave them for my husband. I would drop my kids off and drive away planning on killing myself. It was 2 years of hell for me, where I ached for it to end. Where I just couldn't anymore. I couldn't be me. I couldn't live this life. And then a friend of mine posted on Facebook that he had left the church, and it was so surprising because I thought of him as such a strong person in the church. That's what I believed, right? Strong person in the church. That's what you say. And anyways, I reached out to him because I wasn't happy, and I knew that. And I asked him some questions, and he shared an article with me. And this article led me down the rabbit hole of church history. It was a mixture between this friend and my counselor, who it was so hard to invest time in myself and money in myself to go to a counselor to get myself out of that depressive hellhole that was my life. Believing that everybody hated me and everybody would be better off without me in the world. And I finally buckled down and got a counselor. In counseling, it started off with talking about sexual abuse. It started off with talking about, family members and feeling so alone, so black sheep in my family. And then it segued to, I feel that way in church too, but I believe it. I believe that it's true. How can I feel so unhappy somewhere that is so true, somewhere that is the only way to happiness in the world? How could I be so unhappy in a place that is the only pathway to happiness? Doing the things that I was supposed to be doing. Living the life that I was supposed to be living. And my counselor and my friend introduced me to some information. Again, gospel topic essays on the LDS website. If you haven't read them, they're very informative. They are very eye-opening. On it was LDS.org and now it's something else, but whatever it is, gospel topic essays is still on there. It's kind of hard to find because they kind of bury it, but it's freaking there. I've read it multiple times. And it sent me down a rabbit hole of things that I did not know. Things that did not sit well with me. Things that I felt betrayed to learn about the church, about church history, about Joseph Smith. I felt gutted to learn. And some of you I know will understand because you have learned those things. And some of you have learned those things and chosen to stay. And some of you have chosen to leave. And I'm here to tell you, it's okay either way. It is your choice. But you get to have that choice. For the first time in my life, I got to have a choice. And I'll tell you, I chose what felt the most right, that felt the most true and real to me, and that was to leave the church. And nobody can even speak up for me or speak up to me because you have not experienced what I have. You might relate. But it isn't the same. And if you have left, reach out to me, talk to me. And if you stayed, I still want to be your friend, but I don't want you to try to convince me to come back. It's been several years for me now, and I'm happy where I am. I'm happy with my choice. I'm glad that I am no longer part of the church. I have finally found freedom. I have finally found a place where I feel like I can be me, where I can choose, where I can believe whatever I want to believe in. And let me tell you another thing. What I believe now is beautiful and it's loving. And I love it. I'm happy here. This is where I want to be. I want to be me. And this is where I can be me. This is my home now. What I believe now. And in my opinion, it's such a beautiful belief. This is me. This is Sadie. And I'm so proud of who I am. I'm so happy of what I've been through. I'm so happy to be alive today. I'm so happy and proud of myself that I did not pull that trigger that day. And I just have to tell you one other thing, one quick little snippet about that is I did a healing session just with one of my best friends. Jade, if you're out there, I love you. You're amazing. Thank you for this session. Shout out to you, girl. I did a healing session Jade did it for me. It's the same modality that I'm trained in. We trade on each other. Anyways, we trade healing. And I was brought back to that scene where I was on the bathroom floor in my home with a gun pressed to my head, begging for a sign, begging for hope. And guess what? Jade, in the amazing healer and person she is, guided me. And in this healing session, I saw myself collapse to the ground. I saw my present day self, me, go to that 27-year-old girl who was aching and begging to feel something, for hope, for something, anything. I collapsed on the floor next to her and I grabbed my past self and I held her. I gave her space and validation and I cried with her. And then my present day self grabbed that gun and lowered it to the ground. And in that moment, I saw myself in that scene, in that past moment, lowering that gun to the ground. And I tell you right now, you guys, I was that sign. I know that might sound conceited, but it wasn't. I got to be the person that was there for me. I got to be the one that said, it's okay. Feel what you need to feel. I'm here. There's hope. I love you. Just wait. Your life turns into something unreal, unimaginable, and beautiful, and you will love it, every second of it. You will learn so much, you will grow so much, you will love so deeply, and you will be loved back. Your life holds so much. And that gun lowered, and I was there. And this is what I help my beautiful clients with. I help them heal. I help them turn trauma into something spiritual and beautiful and life-changing. This is my mission. It is to help people understand their worth, their value, their beauty, and their uniqueness. If I could just get people to understand and see how strong and beautiful and lovable and valuable and important they are, to where it's no longer, oh yeah, this life, I have to do this, I have to do that. No, you get to be you. I get to be me. I get to be Sadie Jensen. And that is a beautiful thing. And you get to be you, and that is also a beautiful thing. I love you guys. And I love you if you're still in the church or if you're out of it. It doesn't matter. I respect you where you are, as I expect you to respect me where I am. That is the beautiful thing about America. That is the beautiful thing about human beings. We get to believe differently. We get to see things differently, and we get to love the hell out of each other anyways. We get to hold that space for someone else to be different than us, and yet to respect them and love them as the same. Okay? Like, I'm sorry if I hurt you by something that I said on this video, but I am speaking my truth. It is past time that I come out and I do this thing. This is me showing up in my life and being the authentic and real me. And I love me. I love me with a fire and with a passion and with an understanding that I never had before, ever. I get to hold myself up high. I get to wake up with myself every day. I get to be me. Please, let's share love. Let's be there for each other no matter what we believe. This video wasn't intended to make you change your beliefs about the church, but to understand why some people do, and that it is okay for them to believe differently than you, and they're still amazing, worthy, valuable. They still have morals. They still are good people. They just get to be them. Okay? You get to be you. Let's just spread love. Let's be more loving. Let's hold ourselves higher to a better standard. Let's let go of judgment. Okay? Let's see each other for the beauty and the fire and the uniqueness that is us in this human experience. Yeah? Okay, that's all I had to say today. Thank you guys. I love you. I'll talk to you soon.